Julie, I'm the Collections Curator here at the New Art Gallery Walsall. This year marks the 50th anniversary of the gift of the Garman Ryan Collection to the people of Walsall. It was donated in 1973 by Kathleen Garman, who had grown up locally in Wednesbury, and although had lived most of her adult life in London, she wanted to give the collection to the people of the Black Country, believing that it was important for culture to exist outside of the capital, so something that we uphold today. So the collection was formed in the 1960s by Kathleen Garman and her close friend Sally Ryan. So to mark this special anniversary year, I asked our staff members and associates of the collection to choose their favourite work in the Garman Ryan collection and tell me why it's their favourite. And we've created this special trail of 50 favourites for 50 years.
I've chosen this sculpture, the Parvati, simply because I love sculpture, and I was really pleased to see a sculpture that represents my Sikh and Hindu heritage. From the outset, it just looks like a goddess, but it's probably got full of layers of stories and scriptures and so much more to it, so that's why I like this sculpture.
We've got this amazing collection here, and I have chosen Kitty as one of my favourites. I've sort of written about this painting before and done an audio description, so I'm quite familiar with it, and it's a really firm favourite of mine. What draws me to this painting is the questions that it poses. Kitty looks very vulnerable in it, which she does appear in Lucian Freud's paintings of her. She's got these big wide eyes and she's facing out. Interestingly, she's in profile, so I always think she's looking out of the picture plane, and I wonder whether she's trying to escape his scrutiny, because he was really renowned for getting up close and analysing his subjects.
The work that I've chosen is by Jacob Epstein of Rabindranath Tagore. I've chosen this particular artwork because my wife and myself, we are 50 this year, and that goes alongside the Garman Ryan, which is 50 years old as well. My wife, who's from India, and she told me when she was at school, poems by Rabindranath Tagore is why I've chosen this particular artwork. And I would like to dedicate this to my wife, Anne-Marie.
The first work that I remember really as a visitor, and it's quite unassuming, it's quite a small work, it's quite unusual in the Garman Ryan collection because of its colour and it's quite abstract, and I think that's why it stood out to me as a visitor. I like the fact that with these selections people might discover works that they haven't seen before and that aren't maybe the big names or the most well-known works, so this is why I picked this one. So it's Small Girl Reading a Book by Bernard Buffet. And yeah, I love it, as I said, because it's quite abstract and its colours and it's quite small. Like, as a child, I always had my head in a book. I was always reading, so I really can relate to it. And now my son, who is 7, Atticus, he is the same. He's always reading and always has his head in a book. He was named for the lead character in my favourite book, To Kill a Mockingbird, so it kind of seemed like a nice personal choice to have this girl reading a book, and it reminds me of my son. And I think that's what's important to me about people selecting works. You don't need to have a degree in art history to appreciate art. You can connect to it in your own way, and that's why I like hearing about everyone's selections, and I hope that visitors through this project, through doing this trail, might discover some new works in the collection and also decide what their favourites might be and why.